For as long as I've been exposed to MMOs, I've felt conflicted, split between the appeal of theme park MMOs and the draw of a sandbox experience, divided between games I felt were superior in lore and others which have graphics or mechanics that feel better. I've been divided between beautiful single-player RPGs and the social immersion of MMORPGs. I've thought a lot about which is better, and I've come to the conclusion that they're all too different for any one to be chosen over the others. As with so many things in life, there's two sides to every coin. Imagine asking if day or night is better. The truth is, sometimes there's things you want to do which definitely require daylight, and yet there's also nothing more wonderful than the peace and the serenity which accompanies a good night's rest or a relaxing evening walk. Imagine if I asked you to tell me what is better, having a romantic relationship or having quality friendships in your life. It would be a very difficult question to answer, because if you had to choose one or the other at the expense of each other, the answer would always wind up wrong, and the thing you chose would always be insufficient, lacking for the other. Imagine a world with only action movies, or only sci-fi, or only rom-coms. I could go on and on. I'm drawn to the sense of an immersive first-person experience, exploring a world filled with lore and quests, which feels like experiencing a great adventure story by living one page at a time. I like the inclusive and positive communities which tend to develop in theme park MMOs, where everyone is rewarded for being kind to each other and for working together toward common goals, where the most powerful player and the weakest one can share a common journey side by side. I love the vistas, the sense of role play. I like creating character that exists in a game with good graphics and a community that's just as interested in cosmetics as combat mechanics, where PvP might just as easily be given up for a path of fishing or virtual home decorating. Take ESO, for example. How awesome it is to have my own customizable companion and pet that travel with me while I experience fully voice-acted quests in an enormous world that contains every possible biome. And yet, I can't quite scratch that itch for a realistic economy without level scaling, like the one offered in Albion Online, or the surprising accessibility of Albion, which works interchangeably on desktop and mobile platforms. I miss the gorgeous views of Teyvat and Genshin Impact's beautiful anime landscape, the seamless timelessness of the lovingly crafted land of Middle-earth and Lotro, where you can travel anywhere without encountering any loading screens. For every one good thing I can tell you about a favorite game, I can tell you something else that's missing, which leads me to the theme of this video. In exploring video games, I've found that they revealed truths which are also relevant in every part of life. The truth is, it's okay to enjoy multiple things simultaneously in many unique and different ways. Imagine choosing between a world with grass and bushes and another one with just trees. How would you decide? It's okay to have a sub and then let it run out for a while and come back when you feel like it. It's okay to let your premium lapse and play free without a sub if you're able to enjoy the game that way, more casually, until you start to feel like you need the premium or a sub again. It's okay to play multiple games at one time, depending only on what you feel like playing on any given evening. There is a notion that you need to find one thing and commit to it, and let your whole personality be defined by it, in sticking to the grind until you're a master and an expert. Whether we're talking about gaming or some other part of life, from relationships to broader activities or career, or even the way you reflect on and come to terms with your own mortality. Diversity and inclusion is not just a corporate catchphrase that applies to contentious racial divisions. It's the truth that a balanced, but never all-consuming, combination of many different, often conflicting things together create an experience that's memorable and life-changing in all the right ways. It seems to be in our nature to want to put everything into a specific bucket. We like labels and categories. We're uncomfortable with the idea of having a little bit of everything, because we think that embracing multiple different things for the unique qualities they offer and bring to the table creates a competition of ideas which is conflicting. But that's actually the best part of every experience in life, to encounter unique combinations and elements, stories that make us think and make us imagine, and make us ponder how the different conflicting mechanics symbolize new ways of thinking and interacting. In that way, we're just like children for our whole lives, and the more different kinds of experiences we can have, the more likely our lives are to be fulfilling, exciting, and joyful. So to sum it up, there is no right answer, but if there's any takeaway, it's that each game brings something unique to the table, and you don't need to pick just one. Admittedly, time and money being taken into account, it might be best to pick one at a time. But for my part, I'm not going to box myself in. Today I might be playing Albion Online, or the Elder Scrolls Online, or both at the same time. Tomorrow it might be the Lord of the Rings Online. And next month it might be some new game I found that stoked my imagination and made me think, I've got to see that. If I start to feel like I'm getting burned out on MMOs, I might take a couple weeks and just play single-player RPGs. Or take a break from role-playing games entirely to play city builders, colony managers, turn-based games, an RTS, or even an arcade. I might decide to take a break for a couple of weeks from gaming entirely, so that I can spend my time in the outdoors, bicycling and hiking, spending time with friends, or going on a road trip to see a new place. Or I might take a week-long vacation from my day job and dedicate that time to a marathon of hardcore grinding in just one game until I finish it completely. In the end, it doesn't really matter. All that really matters is that I have a positive attitude about whatever it is I'm doing right now. Whether it's work or play, one MMORPG or another. J.R.R. Tolkien said, "It's a dangerous business going out your door. You step onto the road, and if you don't keep your feet, there's no knowing where you might be swept off to." My point is, adventure isn't about having a set course for everything. It's just about stepping out onto the road, being swept away by whatever adventure your destiny holds. Don't resent the evening because you missed a sunrise. Do things that you enjoy doing because you're truly having a good time. If you aren't having fun, don't feel obligated to trick yourself into believing that you are. People do this with their job and in life, in games, in social relationships. Don't convince yourself that because you're not having fun today and you want to take a break for a while, that you can't ever decide you'd like to return. Don't believe that you have to play the way everyone else plays in order to have fun, if you've already found a way to enjoy the journey in your own way. There is a notion that if you're not feeling it, you just have to keep on pushing through. But it's okay to do nothing when you're not inspired. For example, I've looked at the habits and publishing routine of a lot of my favorite YouTubers, and I realized that there's some people who make a video just about every day, and there's some that make a higher quality production closer to once a month, and still others who put out content in a random flurry and then take a break for quite a long time and come back fresh when they're ready. It's better to do something well without a scorecard than it is to have a mechanical routine that you force yourself to follow while dreading it internally. With all things, you'll know them by their fruits. How do they make you feel? Healthy trees bear good fruit. Diseased trees, bad fruit. A healthy tree can't bear bad fruit, nor can a diseased tree bear good fruit. And so it is in life and gaming alike. If your experience is uplifting and inspiring, then embrace it. And if it ever becomes stale or toxic or frustrating, or maybe just a yawn fest, well, log off for a while and into something that's better for you in this moment. As Tolkien said, all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. So, however you decide, wherever you find yourself, whatever world you choose to explore, whether it's in the pages of a book or in the digital world of a MMO RPG, or in a physical place that you're exploring on foot, never stop seeking joy and wonder and that magical sense of what's next. Till next time, happy adventuring.